Good morning, everyone. Today, uh, we will learn about the data link control. So, data link control is a sublayer of the data link layer. In a data link layer, we have two sublayers. One is the data link control layer, other is MAC layer. So, MAC layer is nothing but multiple access control layer. In the last sessions, we have already studied about the MAC layer, that is multiple access control layers. So in the multiple access control layers, we studied about the random access, the control access and channelization, okay, and different types of random accesses and different types of controlled access and different methods of channelization. So today we shall study about the data link control. So data link control have some set of services. So those services are listed here. So data link control have three services, three set of services. So first one is framing, second is flow control, and third is error control. First I briefly explain all these three services. So framing means dividing the data into n number of parts and naming each part. So each part is called as frame, and the name given to that part is known as frame name or frame ID. And next one is flow control. So flow control is a mechanism where we control the outflow of the source system and the inflow of destination system. The next one is error control. In the error control is a mechanism where we implement CRC, that is cyclic redundancy check. Here we add some extra redundant bits to our data while sending the data from the source system. Okay. Now I will explain in brief, I will explain in detail all these three services. So first one is framing. So framing means here we will send the data in terms of bits, and each bits, the set of bits are divided into different parts, and each part is called as frame. And in a framing we have two different types. One is fixed sized framing and second is variable sized framing. So fixed sized framing means here all the frames are of same size. For example, if we have a 10 MB of data, so we will divide that 10 MB into 5 parts, that is 2 MB each. So here all the frames have same size, hence that method is known as fixed sized framing. For example, if we take the same data that is of 10 MB and if we divide it into 3 parts, that is 4 MB is of one part and 3 MB is of second and third part. Here the size of frames are not equal, hence it is called as variable type framing or variable size framing. Okay. And variable size framing is implemented through two mechanisms or two techniques. In that, first one is character oriented framing, that is also called as byte stuffing, and next one is bit oriented framing, it is also called as bit stuffing. Here the character oriented framing is also called as byte oriented framing. So in the diagram you can see character oriented framing. So here the character oriented framing means here we have a So here in our frame we have 5 different sectors. So first one is flag, second is header, third one is data, fourth is trailer, and fifth is flag. So starting and ending are the delimiters. So delimiter means nothing but starting and ending point of the frame. So both are flags. Okay. Flag is nothing but a series of binary bits. That is collection of ones and zeros. Okay. But they should be identical. The starting and ending bits should be identical, that is flag should be same. If we take 1011 as the starting flag, then the ending flag should also be a same, that is 1011. Okay. Next is header. So header is a part which contains the addresses of source and destination. It contains some more additional information, but the main information it stores is the source and destination addresses. Next is data. So data you can it is easily understood, that is it contains the actual data in that part of a frame what we want to send from source to destination. And next is trailer. So trailer contains the information such as error detection and error correction, that is nothing but CRC, that is we implement the method CRC, cyclic redundancy check. Okay. So that CRC is used for error detection as well as error correction. And last one is flag. It is same as I explained in a flag 1, that is a starting flag and ending flag both should be identical. So these flags will indicate starting frame and the ending of a frame. So here we have one more concept, that is byte stuffing. In the screen you can see, I will share the PDF, but in the screen you can see that is byte stuffing. That is the main concept in this data link control. So byte stuffing is a mechanism that is used to add some extra bit to avoid confusion between the data and the flag. For example, think that we will define a flag as 101. In our data we are sending a data that is 10101. Okay, in this data we have 101 twice. Okay, hence the receiver system may think that it is a flag. It thinks that 101 101 is a starting flag, and again when it repeats it will think that it is a ending of a frame. Hence, to avoid confusion, between flag and the data, we will add some extra bit to our data. That is, whenever there is a pattern which occurs in our data which is same as flag bits, so at that time, to avoid confusion, we will add some extra bit that is called as escape bit. For example, if there are bits which are same as escape bits, at that time we will add one more extra bit, that is one more escape bit. Okay, in the diagram you can see, in the above diagram we have three diagrams. So in the first diagram we have only flag and escape bits, that is nothing but in the data we have flag and escape bits. Okay, we have a bits which is same as flag, and we have one more bit which are same as one more bit set which are same as escape bits. Okay, so at that time before flag we will add some extra bit, that is nothing but a escape bit. So in the diagram they have given extra 2 bytes stuffed. That is 2 bytes stuffed means 2 bytes are added to our original data. Our original data contains the data which is same as the flag and escape bits. Hence before flag we added escape bit, and before escape bit also we added one more escape bit to avoid confusion. So this mechanism is known as byte stuffing. So byte stuffing is a mechanism which is used to avoid confusion between the flag and the original data. So next, coming to bit oriented protocol, that is bit stuffing. So this bit oriented protocol implements bit stuffing in it. So difference between byte stuffing and bit stuffing means, so in the byte stuffing we add escape character, but in the bit stuffing we add only one character, that is 0. For example, in the above diagram they have given, we have a flag which is indicated by 0 triple ones, 0. So that is nothing but 0 and 0. The starting bit is 0 and the ending bit is 0. In the middle we have 6 ones. So that indicates flag. At the starting of a frame and the ending of a frame we have 2 flags which indicates starting of a frame and ending of a frame. After the first flag we have header. So header means it contains addresses of source and destination. In the middle we have a data. After data we have trailer. So trailer contains error detection and error correction mechanism. And last we have flag, which is same as the first flag. Think that in the data we have the bits which are same as flag bits. So the receiver will get confused which are the flag bits and which are the data bits. Hence, to avoid that we use bit stuffing. So bit stuffing means it is a process of adding one extra 0, that is a single bit, that is one extra 0 whenever 5 consecutive ones follow a 0. That is, whenever there is a pattern that is same as a flag pattern, then at that time we will add one 0 to the data to avoid confusion between the flag and the original data. So this mechanism is known as bit stuffing. So in the diagram we can see the data is 0 1 and we have series of ones, next 1 0 1, series of ones, and 0 0. In the below diagram you can see we have first one is a flag bit, then header, then in the data we added 0, that is stuffed bit. So stuffed bit is nothing but a 0. It is used to avoid the confusion between the flag and the original data. After stuffing, we will send the data from source to destination, and at the destination side we will again separate the stuffed bits and the original data. After unstuffing, we will get our original data. So unstuffing is done by the upper layer of the receiver system. So next is flow control. So flow control is a mechanism which indicates the source and the destination system to maintain the flow of data. For example, if the sender capacity is to sender has a capacity of sending 3 bits per second, then the receiver should also have the capacity of receiving 3 bits per second. So this is known as the flow control information. This should be sent to the source system as well as the destination system. Here the sender pushes the frames and the receiver will go on receiving the frames. So once the receiver system is full, then the receiver system should intimate the sender that to slow down the sending of the packets. It should indicate the source system to slow down the process, that is to slow down the sending of the frames. That is done through acknowledgement frame. The receiver will send the acknowledgement frame whenever the data is full, whenever the capacity of it is full. For example, the receiver have a capacity of 500 MB and the sender have some capacity of 1 TB. It will go on sending the data to the receiver. So once the receiver reaches 500 MB, then it will send the acknowledgement to the sender system to slow down the process. So to avoid this, we will use buffers. So buffers are used at the receiver system. So buffers are nothing but as you know, they are temporary memories. In our system we have two types of memory, RAM and ROM. ROM is a secondary memory and RAM is a primary memory. So in the same way we will use buffers. So buffers are used to store the data temporarily. Once the buffer is full, it will send the data. First the data from the sender is sent to the buffer, and from buffer to the storage device of the receiver system. So once the buffer is full, it will ask the sender system to reduce the speed of the data. So this is done by acknowledgement. It will send acknowledgement and it will intimate the sender. So this mechanism is done in the flow control. And the third one is error control. So error control is nothing but it is a mechanism of detecting the error and correcting the error. So for this, normally we use CRC, that is cyclic redundancy check. In this mechanism we will add some extra redundant bits to our data to give security to our data during transmission. So during transmission the hacker may hack the data and he can misuse the data. Hence to avoid that, we will add the redundant bits to our data to avoid hacking. So this mechanism is done in error control. Okay. So these three are the services that is given by the data link services, the data link control layer. So data link control layer have three services. Framing. In framing we have two types, fixed size and variable size, and then we have a flow control. It controls the flow of the sender and the receiver, and then we have the error control mechanism. It is used to detect and correct the errors. Hope you all understood the concept. Thank you.